Alright, quick test. If I asked you to play fast alternate picking right now, it probably feels fine at first, but the moment you really push the speed, it all falls apart. The timing gets uneven, notes start missing, and everything feels tense and kind of random. And here's the thing, it's probably not your speed, it's your upstrokes. Most players think alternate picking is simply down, up, and so on. And then you just go faster. But that's not what's actually happening. What's really going on is your downstrokes are strong, controlled and consistent, especially if you're into rock or metal. Because you work on this quite a lot in your rhythm playing. But your upstrokes are often weak, delayed and quite tense. Because let's be honest, you never really just work on your upstrokes and you don't even think about them that much. Which means instead of this, so smooth, even motion with your picking, you get something like this. So not only are your hands not properly synchronizing if your downstrokes are much stronger than your upstrokes, it will also never sound smooth and even, because it always sounds like a strong accented picked note, a weak upstroke, a strong accented picked note, and a weak upstroke, and so on. So always strong, weak, strong, weak. And that's exactly why your picking collapses at higher speeds. Once I realized this, everything changed. Because instead of just training speed, I started training that balance. And once your upstrokes really match your downstrokes, alternate picking becomes almost effortless. So in this video I will show you a very simple and fun system which you can do every day for just a couple of minutes that forces your upstrokes to finally catch up. And I will link the full structured version of this below. This is just a simplified version you can start with right away. So for step number 1, the first exercise is gonna feel weird right away. To start unlocking your upstrokes, you want to work on an exercise that really accents the upstrokes. So instead of playing like this, which is how you probably usually play, so big accents on the downstrokes and weaker upstrokes, you want to work on exercises where you really exaggerate accenting those upstrokes. You can really just start out with one note on one string and really kind of over-exaggerate that kind of movement. This is not how you will play in a practical context, of course. But practicing like this really gave me a much better feeling for the mechanics of those upstrokes and how weak they are in comparison to my downstrokes. Most people have never actually trained this, which means your brain literally doesn't really know how to control those upstrokes individually. So try this right now. If this feels uncomfortable, that's not a bad sign at all, because it's exactly what we're fixing right here. Once you did that, with just one note, you can move to more notes, of course. And so on. Any scale will do. You just want to keep the movements relaxed, so you don't want to tense up, although you're exaggerating the upstrokes. You want the movement coming from your wrist, and you don't want to rush speed yet. This is not a speed exercise. And with the next exercise, with step number 2. By the way, my friends, I just checked the analytics again. Nothing has changed. Still over 80% of you are not subscribed to the channel yet. So if this video is helpful so far and you want more completely free, high quality guitar training in your feed, hit that subscribe button. But let's get back to the video. We will completely break your default pattern when it comes to alternate picking, because almost everyone starts phrases on a downstroke, right? So now, you guessed it, we want to start with an upstroke. Or slowly. So why is this a great exercise? You essentially remove your strong side advantage by starting with upstrokes instead of those downstrokes. So now your weak side actually has to lead. So this is where a lot of players suddenly feel like Wait, I don't have any control here anymore. That's exactly the point. Once again, this doesn't mean that you have to start with an upstroke in a practical context now all the time. But as an exercise concept, this is extremely powerful. Because once again, it really makes you realize how weak and uncoordinated your upstrokes actually are. And when you practice leading with them, so going up, down, up, down, up, down, instead of down, up, down, up, down, up, it will immediately improve them after just a couple of sessions of doing this. Now for step number 3, we will move to burst training. So right here we're working on speed, but in a very controlled way. Short bursts, just 6 to a maximum of 8 notes. No long runs yet. I personally really like bursts like this, where I'm ending with an upstroke. And in general, although I'm not starting with an upstroke anymore, or I'm not particularly accenting the upstrokes in there, I focus on completely even dynamics. So my downstrokes need to be just as strong as my upstrokes and the other way around as well. This is extremely effective because speed isn't really built through long and very sloppy runs. It's built through short, perfect and relaxed bursts. So speed is a byproduct of control and not of just effort and pushing as hard as possible. With the third step, you once again want to focus on zero tension with your picking. It all still comes from the wrist. You want a clean and audible attack for every single note in there, and most importantly, balance. So even downstrokes and upstrokes. No super strong downstrokes and weak upstrokes. They need to feel exactly the same. And the fourth step you want to go through to finally really master all of this is focusing on string crossing control. This is where everything usually breaks down, right? Because now your picking direction and technique really matters when you just have one note on the first string, 3 notes on the next one, maybe 2 back on the A string, then 3 again, then just 1, and then just 1 again. So for the fourth step, really nailing that string crossing control is all that matters. You want to stay close to the strings with your picking movements. You don't want any big wasted movement right here, especially not anything that comes from the full arm like this. And you want to really track those string changes, because this is where upstroke weakness becomes really obvious. Because for a lot of lines where you just have that one downstroke on a lower string and then move to multiple notes on a higher string, as you can see, I have to start that with an upstroke, so down, up. If your picking collapses whenever you have to do odd kind of string transitions and changes like this, it's actually not random, it's quite predictable. It's because you're kind of bad at the moment when it comes to leading with those upstrokes, which is what you need to master in order to play really cool stuff like this. At this point, you probably feel one of two things. This feels a bit harder than expected, or this is exposing a lot of problems in my technique. That's actually a good thing, because it means you're actually training the right thing. Because once your upstrokes really catch up with your downstrokes, your timing really locks in, which also means your hands will finally synchronize, your speed increases naturally, and everything just feels way more controlled. And the crazy part is you don't actually feel like you're trying harder, it just works. Now, if you actually take all of this seriously, here's the difference. Most players just try any kind of random exercises they find on the internet. They jump between different techniques and they never really build consistency. What actually works if you want to build technique like this is a structured system with clear daily progression and no guessing. That's exactly why I built the Upstroke Dominance System. Inside it you will get a complete daily practice structure made out of the 4 best exercises for getting your upstrokes to the same level as your downstrokes, step-by-step progression with slow and faster play-along examples, detailed PDF tab sheets and guitar profiles for everything, and an actual system designed specifically to eliminate this problem. So instead of wondering what should I practice today, you just Just follow the system and improve. Thousands of students are already using these practice systems to fix their technique and finally break through their speed plateaus. So if you're actually serious about your guitar playing and you don't want to stay stuck on the same level, this is exactly for you. Join the Patreon below, get access to the full system over there. Use the code 2026practice for a massive 30% off your first year on the platform. I'm waiting for you over there. Let's take your playing to the next level together.